coming. My name is Vanya Andre, and I'm the editor-in-chief of Haitian Times. And today's panel, pretty much what we're going to be exploring and discussing is looking at how community news outlets like the Haitian Times and community organizations can work together to not only influence what's going on here in the United States in different Haitian communities, but also seeing how we can leverage what we're doing right here to influence what's going on in Haiti. I'm very honored to be here today. We have participated in this conference several times, and it's always nice to see that there's an interest in general from the diaspora to come in to just find out what's going on and just seeing how we can be instrumental in what's going on in our own backyards and then also in Haiti. I'm also very pleased to have this esteemed panel with me today. These are all people that I respect very much, and it's nice that we're all here today, that we can kind of have a thoughtful discussion about how we can all work together. So I'll let the panelists each introduce themselves. And you can start, Gary.
Gary Pierre, I'm the founder, and I guess I work for Vanya now of the Haitian Times.
Claude Mancuso, television film producer. ITTV is what we have now that we're working with, and that's it.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Francesca Menace, and I'm the Florida State Coordinator for Local Progress with the Center for Popular Democracy, which is a national network of progressive local elected officials. We have about 700 members across the country. We do research, best practices, and basically help them pass policies on a various of issues. But I'm also the founder and the chief community engager for Community Strategies, which is my LLC, where I do political consultancy, developing workshops and facilitating trainings around Advocacy 101, because in my prior life I was a policy director for a statewide immigrant rights organization.
I'm Kyle Bell, I'm a media personality, I'm based in Haiti. I'm the CEO and founder of Chukaila, which is one of the biggest digital media platform coming from Haiti. We do a lot of audiovisual productions. We produce web series, podcasts, TV shows, and also radio shows. I am known as a TV host because I hosted TV Stars and other few great and successful TV projects in Haiti, and I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Thank you. So Kyle and Francesca kind of already touched on a little bit more of their background, but if Gary and Claude can just touch a little bit more about the type of work you do, and especially work within the community.
I mean, Claude and I were talking earlier. I mean, we go back in journalism for more than 30 years. We started, he was with CBS News, I was with the Fort Lauderdale Sun Sentinel, covering Haiti and things that was going on. I mean, it's a long travel, and I think, you know, I'm with the Haitian Times. I think that's fine. You know, if people want to know more about me, they can find it, but I'd rather us talk about the issues here instead of talk about what I've done over the years.
Well, I think he's definitely a pioneer, because we were talking about those old days when it actually started before Baby Doc left, and at the time we were saying, "Why it cannot get any worse." And believe me, last 30 years it has only gotten worse. But so effectively, since you asked, I will answer. Then I ended up in Haiti at the age of 18, moving on 19, moving there on my own, because I had been on vacation since the age of 12 with my parents, almost every summer, my father being the manager of Air France. And I fell in love with Haiti because of first of all, the mountains, because in Miami we have nothing here that looks like a mountain. The culture, and my origin is Sicilian. I was raised in French Morocco. There was great similarity to the culture in Morocco to Haiti. So I was attracted to it, and after I got my degree in film and television production, I moved to Haiti with the idea of developing the Haitian film industry. That was my dream. And I produced À la Misère pour Rodrigue in 1980, which is the first Haitian Creole language feature film. And that was my first experience. And then reality set in, because the only way to make money with the movie is actually go to the movie theaters in Saint-Marc and Quai-Haïtien and Bombado Police and sit there outside and collect the 3 gourds. And that went on for 6 months. It was a great experience. And then started Mancuso Productions, which we produced Monkey Shot, and we produced all the first Haitian music videos. When things got really bad, I offered my services to CBS, knowing that this is about 6 months, actually 2 or 3 months before Baby Doc left, because the situation was so bad I had planned to leave here. So let me make some money with CBS before, because I knew that after the news people would leave, I could not stay. You cannot work for CBS or anybody like that during the era of Baby Doc and live in Haiti, because you had the Makouts, the Tontons, who felt that the medias were against them. Yeah, exactly. So, so the idea is that it was either me or Baby Doc. Baby Doc left, and I stayed. That's the way I see it. And we went on. So I stuck with television, because you can't be married and have kids and make movies. It doesn't work. You got to go. So we made television. We ended up here in 1988 starting the first Diaspora TV. We did Haitian Television Network, HTN, which became the first 24-hour Haitian TV station on Comcast in 2003. I left that in 2006, wrote a script of the Haitian Revolution, which is called Black Spartacus, which is now being looking for funding, by the way. And we now have ITTV. We've had for sale for about 7 years. A digital TV station that we're now put on Roku, and we're offering everywhere. As long as you have internet, you'll be able to watch on Roku, free of charge, 10 Haitian TV stations and 15 Haitian radio stations. So that's what we're doing now, TV and producing a film, and that's it.
Awesome, thank you. So you touched on something very interesting that kind of brings us to the next portion of this. You mentioned the challenges working as media in Haiti when there was lots of political instability. Can each of you just take a few minutes and just talk to us about some issues that are going on in Haiti, which I think there are some obvious ones that we all can come to mind. So some obvious ones, but also some not so obvious ones that are some issues right now that need to be addressed, and then also some issues that are going on in the diaspora that are not necessarily unique to the Haitian community, but overall to immigrant communities.
I'm not really in the political field. I don't really report on political subjects in Haiti, but everybody is affected by the political troubles in Haiti. Because I'm more into in the entertainment side of the business, I could say, and every time there's something, everyone suffers. Like right now in Haiti, you can see during the election period or even after, because even if you have elected officials or elected president, you will definitely have process against that person. So you need to be very careful about like how you report your news, because you can maybe doing your work independently and then you're creating enemies, and those enemies will definitely find a way to try to stop you from doing what you're doing, and what you're doing is just telling the truth and reporting what matters to the population. So my experience also is you will never find a way in Haiti to please everyone. Like for example, you can report on a car accident. You will definitely find someone that say that you're saying it wrong. And then also in Haiti, with all those political problems, you find a lot of fake news, a lot of propaganda in the media. And you will find some colleagues that will definitely don't have the right ethic to do the job, that will definitely find a way to discourage you, or even like give people the sense that what you're doing is wrong. you're the one doing the right thing. Like you can report on something, you can have an interview with someone, you publish an article, you do an audio report or even a video clip about it, and then you will find that person tomorrow and other radio stations saying that you're lying or it's almost Daesh or anything like that. And that's the biggest problem I think that independent media has in Haiti, because you have to fight to do your job, but you have to fight also to have people believe what you say, because you have a lot of other like charlatan, I could say, in the media trying to maybe give another side of the story, which is false. So for me, it's one of the problems.
I find that in Haiti, it's two extremes. Either people really want to talk to the media, or they really don't want to talk to you. When people are in the state where they do want to speak to you, what are some issues outside of politics that you find people wanting you to talk about?
Social issues. Like right now in Haiti, if you listen to the radio, even if you just get one of the 2 newspapers in Haiti or you're watching TVs, it's basically all the political actors talking. There's always a press conference against the government. There's always something happening in the political side. But if you, for example, say, okay, good, let me do a story about like the environment, or let me do a story about like education or health or agriculture, you will definitely find people eager to talk to you and express themselves, because those people are not really represented in the media, in the mainstream media, I would say. If you listen to the news, it's always the same person talking. It's always talking about the same issues, and you have a bunch of other problems in Haiti that the media don't really cover. Like if you go to Cité Soleil, for example, or even if you go to Pétionville or any other part of Haiti, you will definitely say, hey, I'm gonna make a story about like education. You will definitely find a lot of people talking, because those are the real issues. For me, it's like the political problem in Haiti are not the real issue, because that's easy to fix. You just need a good leader to maybe do the work. But you don't believe that, no problem. But no, what I think is just that it's easy to fix for me it's easy to fix the political problems, but it's harder to fix like the educational problem, to fix the healthcare problem, to fix to give, let's say, the population opportunity to have the basics. That's harder. So if you make a story about those subjects, you will definitely find people who want to talk to you. But unfortunately, in the media in Haiti, it's all about politics. It's about who's, like right now, it's all about Petro Caribe. Of course, yes, with the Petro Caribe situation, it's an important story. But at the same time, when you talk about Petro Caribe 24/7, you forget about all those other issues that even if you fix the Petro Caribe problem, and that won't fix those other problems in Haiti. And for me, you really need to find a way to give those people the opportunity to talk. Like I'm in the entertainment field, as I say, but every time I make a story about like a young student in Haiti who's doing great things, or I can make a profile about the Omashon Papita or anybody else, those are great stories that people want to see. Those are great stories that people want to listen to. But at the same time, if I do an interview with the politician, of course it will get the views, but there's nothing new and there's nothing inspiring in that. So that's what I think.
Francesca, just a quick question for Francesca. Do you see any parallelisms between what Kyle said and coverage within immigrant communities here? Because, for example, we know right now, if we think about what Haiti has been on the national news for, it's being called the shithole country and TPS. But you're in the ground, on the ground, you have face-to-face with the community. Are there other issues that aren't so potent, so highlighted, that it's kind of the same story, where there are other issues that need to be given visibility that isn't happening?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that it's basically the same things that was brought up, because when we're thinking about our communities, we're not just focusing and centering just on politics. I mean, here in the U.S., we're very clear that politics impacts every aspect of your life, whether you want to believe it or not. So when it comes to education, you have to talk about politics. When it comes to your street lights, you have to talk about politics. When it's about filling a pothole on your street, that's about politics, because it's about your elected officials and are they doing the job that they're supposed to do with the taxpayer dollars that you are contributing to the economy. And so we have the issues of immigration, of course, that's at all of our levels of government, whether it's federal, whether it's state, because here in the state of Florida, almost every year for the past 7 years that there's been attempts to basically criminalize immigrants and undocumented immigrants in the state. But then you also have local issues in different cities and counties because of our structure, where the mayor of Miami-Dade, for example, a couple of days after Trump got elected, basically said that he was repealing, rolling back the ICE detainer policy. For those who don't know what an ICE detainer policy is, basically when someone gets arrested and you basically are saying that I'm not going to cooperate with Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, I'm not going to turn this person over, they're going to have to be adjudicated and go through the process. And if after they have served their time, then Immigration can come get them, but we are not going to intervene in that process. And our mayor basically said that we're okay with handing you over to Immigration, even though you haven't really gone through the criminal court process. But other issues in our community is around quality of education, whether or not we have teachers getting paid the right salaries. That's why we have on our ballot for the election that's in a week or so, is increasing our teachers' pay by a school board referendum. Housing is a huge issue, particularly in South Florida, as we deal with the climate issue and gentrification. If you're not from South Florida and you take the time to go into Little Haiti, that's where I was born and raised. And when you go to Little Haiti right now and go inside Little Haiti, don't just drive on the Northeast 2nd Corridor or the Northwest Corridor, but go inside Little Haiti. All you're gonna see is gated properties. And those gated properties are developers who now own those lands, sitting on those lands, waiting to build high-rises. So Little Haiti is being slowly erased. It's to the point that the only thing you may see sitting there in the future is Notre Dame.
When we were talking about Haiti, one of the issues that's a sad reality is there's no investigative journalism in Haiti, because all of the medias, radio stations and TV stations, have licenses issued by the government, which is always can be pulled for any reason that they've seen, because maybe they're not happy with your reporting. So a media owner that's invested in creating TV or radio has a young reporter who's out there finding out who's stealing money. There's a very small chance that the owner is going to allow that report to get on the air, because he doesn't want to lose his license. So technically that's one way of controlling. Plus, the government hands out money to the stations that give them support. They have Télé Nationale, which is their media, but now the other private medias need government funding because they've given out too many licenses. No media can there's at least 30 TV stations in Port-au-Prince alone. TV, 75 radio stations. Okay. There's no advertising dollars to justify all of these stations to be able to survive. So how do they survive? Through handouts by the government. And that's how they control the message. So what do we find out here? The parliament votes a law saying that all the members of parliament cannot be arrested, cannot be investigated for what they do. And then what do? They go and steal money knowing that they're protected by the law. And you can't even talk about it because they control the media.
So I want to add something for that also. But recently, for the past 5 years, you will see a lot of parliament members, they're on their station radio owner right now, because they can definitely control that. And also the government, like the national television is not as great as other private televisions, rich in terms of program and things like that. So the government has to put a lot of money as well for propaganda and those TV stations. So that's why it's really hard for a TV station to maybe cut the bridge and when maybe they're going to report on something that can be bad for the government.
So I think that's one of the main issues.
And for Claude and Gary, you two have been working here in the States and in Haiti for the past several years. How have you, this is twofold question. First, how can media outlets here in the diaspora help with that issue as far as, you know, the government has such a hand in controlling messaging in Haiti? And second, how have you personally dealt with that?
Well, there's not much that media outlets can do here to help Haiti, and I mean that because are you saying Haitian media or American media here?
Haitian media.
Well, Haitian media here is a bit of a misnomer. I could say that in the U.S. there are maybe a handful of real media. The problem that Kyle just articulated about Haiti, I can say it happens here in a different way. It's not the government's doing it, but it's too much of a propaganda type of reporting, if you even call it that. There are very few people in the Haitian media who are actual journalists, who understand journalism and the role of the media in building a society. And so right there, if we're coming out of it from this mindset, there's very little we can do for Haiti. And Haiti has its own sets of problems that's been articulated here, and we're not, excuse me, the Haitian media. And one important point is that the media doesn't work in a vacuum. It's a reflection of the community, of the society in which it reports. We haven't been able to support professional media. So what we left with even here is very mercenary and personality driven. My modesty is not, I would even call it fake modesty. Because once you have achieved so much, there's no need to talk about it all that much. If I have to go and talk about it, I feel, well, I don't let my work speak for itself. I mean, that's just a journalist ethos in this country. You know, if you look at most of the so-called famous journalists, they're just, you know, very modest, because that's the way, because you have a platform. You're very powerful in many ways, and that in itself is enough. You don't need to sort of like go beyond that, and we tend to do that in this community. And also, the audience is partly responsible, because they're not making the distinction between, you know, the cult of personality media and real journalists. Not to say that there are some people who are famous or well-known who are not good journalists. Not that at all. I respect a lot of people who are, and especially in the age of social media, where you don't have the gatekeepers anymore to keep people out. So now, you know, with Instagram and Facebook and all of them, you have a platform to really do good work if that's what you want to do. And some of that is being done. But I think, you know, we as a community, as a country, should recognize good journalism and support it. Because without your support, it cannot continue.
Go ahead.
There's 2 points that are totally different that I want to bring up. Number one is Haitian, well, not just Haitian, just say ethnic media surviving, because we all need advertisers. Now, if you watch my TV station, read the newspaper, rarely are you going to find Ford, Chevrolet, McDonald's, Burger King. Even though we are consumers, we have the consumers. I was trying to get advertising at that level. We have supposedly maybe 300,000 Asians in South Florida. We have at least 10 to 15 to 20% that are watching our channel regularly. That's maybe 30, 40, 50,000 people. But I can't prove it. So they all said, well, we need Nielsen numbers. You know, when you have Nielsen numbers, then you're real. So I go to Nielsen, I said, okay, let's make a deal. 5,000 a month for them to count. Let's do it. They go into their database, and before they signed the contract, the lady was nice enough to say, let me do a little research. Okay, this is the way it works. She comes back a week later. Mr. Mancuso, we have 600 boxes in South Florida that monitor who's watching TV. 300 boxes in Miami-Dade, 300 boxes in Broward County. Those boxes determine who's watching and all those numbers. I said, okay. She said, our database says that there's 300 boxes in English-speaking homes and 300 boxes in Spanish-speaking homes. There's not one box in any home that doesn't speak either Spanish or English. So Nielsen is saying that 10 to 15% of South Florida population does not exist. So when I go to a major local advertiser, I says, well, you know Haitians are here. You got some employed here. The restaurant you went to had 50% of the staff was Haitian. We know they're here, but I can't get, until you give me numbers, we can't do that. That's going to change with, that's why we're going on to Roku, because we get those numbers. But that stops us from being able to get the real dollars. The lottery gives me $80 to run a spot, and that's a lot for us, because it's the lottery. Because I can't prove how many people are watching. I know I have a lot. A Spanish media, Omega TV, can prove through Nielsen that they get 8,000 viewers on Friday at 8 p.m. They get $600 for the same spot that I get $80, because they can prove 8,000 people, and I can't prove the 20, 30,000 that I have because of that. And they said, you know why? Because Haitians do not have any lobbying effort to get Nielsen to push and get more of that. So that's one of the points I wanted to bring up. That hurts us to become, why are we not, what is there a Haitian Univision or those kind of major, because we can't get to that numbers issue, not yet. And then to come back to the last point, there's a Haitian revolution going on right now, which is the started Petro Caribe. And Tele Nacional is not what it used to be. This is Tele Nacional now. Because somebody in Paul de Pay can turn on their Facebook Live and give you a building that just went down, and somebody in Boston is watching it live. And so this is why it is more difficult for the bad guys in Haiti to hide with their stealing the money and the politicians, because these cameras now, in all the phones, GSAT has sold these phones everywhere. Everybody has internet over there. So this is why you motivate 100,000 people to take the streets and do the dishucage that we witnessed back in '86, when there was no social media. It's happening because of this. So there's hope. But anybody who has this is not a professional reporter. So then they can do anything with this. They can show you what is really happening, or they create something fake to get the word out. The people with money who want to hide will pay somebody to go get their enemy on this to do damage to their reputation and to create the zizanie and all of the problems to stop them from being arrested. So they're not, it's a revolution, but I don't know how we're going to get out of this thing.
You brought up two interesting points. And first one, and I'm curious, Francesca, what your thoughts on it. You mentioned that as a community we don't have lobbying power, which is something that I find very interesting and true and unfortunate, because we are still relatively a new immigrant community within this country. However, between the influx of Haitians that came in between the 60s and the early 80s to now, as a community we've made a lot of advancements, but it's been very siloed. And I'm just curious for you, Francesca, someone who works within the community, what are some of the discussions behind the scenes that happen? Because if you think about it, does the Haitian community have an organization that they can go to? Do they have a person that they can go to that if we needed to bring together 50,000 people to make sure someone gets on a ballot or something gets pushed through, can that happen? And sorry, one additional point to that, do you see the ethnic media or just anyone that's within the media space that has influence in this country, do you see them as allies?
So to both, I would say no. Just being frank and honest, that's how I tend to have these conversations, and I don't mean to offend anyone. We're not a very coordinated community in any aspect of the places that we should be holding power, because the numbers are there. We're just not coordinated. And the example I can give you on the political side is we can always go back to 2010 and the election when Kendrick Lee stepped down to run for U.S. Senate, and this was the first opportunity that Haitians could have gained to have a U.S. Congress member. And rather than pull ourselves together as a community and say, this is the one person that we are going to run, Haitians split split the vote across the board, and someone else was able to slip through, our current Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, although an ally to the Haitian community, that could have been our seat. And I was the person that they asked to put the analysis together, and Haitians, when you combine all of the votes with all of the candidates, we actually had almost 10,000 more votes than her. So had we actually put our egos aside, put our pride aside, and say we're doing this for our community, we would have, our first congressional member wouldn't have been Mia Love. It would have been someone here in South Florida, where there's a huge Haitian population. And the same thing goes for our lobbying. Lobbying is about lobbying for your particular interests. So it's like, are you lobbying for you, or are you lobbying for the community? And so there are some of us who are very clear. We can put our egos aside, we can have issues with the person, but at the end of the day, what comes first is my people. And if you operate from that mentality of like, yeah, we have our issues, we have our personal beasts, but we can do this, and that's what you see in my generation right now, is that I can have issues with somebody, but it's not gonna stop me from picking up the phone and be like, this is what's happening with us, how do we move this, and how do we do what we need to do for our community? And so we are in this tug of war actually right now with our younger generation, and Vanessa's here, she could tell you, like, we're in this tug of war with our older elders who we respect because we understand the roads and the path that they've paved for us. But this tug of war is around, you need to learn how to relinquish some of that power, because when you're gone, have you put people in place to continue in building power to shift the dynamics in our community? And so you don't see that happen. There are some leaders in our community, very clearly, you see them. Gypsy Nicholas, she has the Santla Fellows, where she brings a cohort of young Haitian leaders together to prioritize their community. You have Commissioner Jean Monestein, who does that. You have very few of them that actually come together with the intention of, we need to build for the future. What does the future look like? Who are those leaders in the community that are doing that work that I need to invest in to get us to that next level? Because our generation, I'm a 1985 baby, so I'm only 33 years old. Our generation is like the most educated generation, and we're only one generation removed from the island, so that's speaking volumes. But are you utilizing us in the ways that you should? And they're not. And so, and going to the radio aspect, because I'm dealing with that right now, because of the elections. So I'm working on the elections, trying to get voters out to turn out, because this is a very important election, particularly in Florida, because this is our opportunity to be able to elect the first Black governor ever in the state of Florida. And this man is only 30-something years old. And so, and he's a very strong ally for the Haitian community. And so what you see right now is that getting ad buys, doing all of that stuff. Like, I've literally been chopping my head off for the past 3 days trying to do ad buys, TV buys, radio buys, all of that stuff. But what's already happened is that the propaganda part of it, the Republicans have already purchased everything. So now what's being pumped into our community is the other side that's actually not going to benefit our community, just like we saw in 2016 when Trump was brought here by a coordinated effort of certain Haitians who want to call themselves leaders. That now where you see the impact in our community. And so if we don't figure out the ways to come together in all of the different aspects of civil society, whether it's politics, whether it's entertainment, whether it comes to media, if we don't do those pieces and put them together, they're always going to continue to achieve what they've been achieving in our community, which is dividing us and conquering.
Well, it's interesting because, Francisca, what you're describing really essentially is a failure of media leadership. The inability of people to really talk about issues the way they are. I'm glad that Jeff C., who's a dear friend, long-time friend, is doing a session at the organization, because I've been calling for that. Because it's after a while, we've been through the same fight over and over. After a while, you get tired. I don't have the energy to fight that same battle. You need new energy. And this is what we're doing now. I didn't even want to be on this panel, but she insisted, of course, that I have to be because she's the boss. But, I really think that's what we need to do. We need new leadership, new blood, media-wise. It's not about me. It's about we. And as long as we keep thinking about me, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and what I can add to that is that you're starting to see that happen. And so you have VSS, which is Vanessa, Shirley, and Sancha, who have come together. They're leaders The person that I forgot to mention because my uncle hurt me, which is Jeff Lazoma from the Haitian Chamber, who's also with the Yo Pros, who's like, again, creating this cohort of like, these are the leaders that we are cultivating. And so now they have their show. And so who knows how many of us are gonna start going down that path where it's like, oh yeah, we actually need to push back against these people who are literally, it's pay for play. Like they're like, I will pay you to do it. And I see you do it because I remember you with the morning drive with Rose. And so we have another one, you know, and so we have like the morning drive was three youth who put that show together in the morning, 2 hours being on radio. And so it's like, we're slowly kind of breaking those walls down, but it's more of like, we shouldn't have to fight you. You should be willing and open to be like, I have to step down. It's time for me to step down. What does that plan and that transition look like? So I'm not setting you up for failure, but I'm setting you up to succeed.
And this takes me to my next question. So I had asked if you see media as an ally, and you said no. And I completely understand with good reasoning. So it's a question for the media people on the panel. In journalism, what is the role? Is it to simply report what you see going on like a stenographer in a courtroom? Or is it to do a little bit more? Should you be involved socially? Should you put more analysis, thought pieces? And is that no longer journalism? Is that something else? Because if we use Haiti as an example, Haiti again, you know, we said that there are 75 plus radio stations, lots of news, but it's a lot of commentary. Is that news?
If I can bring up one thing about, I believe, and maybe people not believe what I believe, but I believe that radio here is very poor. Quality of radio in South Florida is very poor. And you would think, why? There's more money, more advertising, people will go to school. But because most of the radios that we have are radios that anybody who has $250 or $150, whatever that time slot is, that's your qualification. You have access to a microphone and say anything you want. It's just paying that $150. So, what does that mean? Whether you like to hear yourself talk, whether you know how to read and write, whether you know anything about anything, that's not what's important. The radio station like LQI and several others is just about you coming on and you paying your hour, and then you have the mic, and then you do 59 minutes of just advertising, with no content, which is what they sometimes do. Okay?
Because they have to pay the bill.
Because they have to pay the bill. Or people in Book will have 50 credit business cards, and he'll just tell you, this is the best dentist in town is this guy. And then the other best dentist in town is this guy. And then the other best dentist, and that goes on. So that's radio here, unfortunately. There's a couple guys. You have Flora here. You have Guylaine. You know, there are. I don't want to generalize, but you have about 4 or 5 radio stations with maybe 70, 80 people. But I will tell you, there's probably 5 professionals, and there's 75 that should be shot. Shot with my camera.
Yeah, but for me, in Haiti, the reality is a little bit different. Of course, you do have the pay valley, but also you definitely have radio stations or media outlets who have a vision or who have like a mission statement. But the only problem that you have in the media landscape in Haiti, I could say, just because the biggest radio stations right now in Haiti are the biggest media platforms, traditional media platforms, are owned and managed by like older generation coming from the after the value. So they create a station in the name of democracy. Like, of course, like they want to give the news out to motivate people and things like that. But at the same time, they'll let the political situation lead the content creations. And if you listen to all those radio stations, they all have the same program schedule. It's like you will definitely have more news, political news, you will have sports, a lot of sports. And also you can have like one show about health, one show about education and But those people doing those shows, they don't really go out there. It's like sit down in a studio and just invite the fellow, I don't know, their friends or anyone else that they know that can relate to different subjects. So that's give the listener the opportunity to say, hey, let me just maybe get diverse news on the internet or maybe on WhatsApp. Because what's happening on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on Facebook right now in Haiti, those are stories that are not told on traditional media. And when you have that, Bantuso just described it, you have someone in Portugal reporting about like a house that collapsed and things like that. That person is explaining it live with emotion, with live is live emotion, real time, and things like that. So you have someone in TV1 watching that, and that news, that part of news, that story is not on traditional media. So you don't have that professional that have the capacity to treat that information and broadcast it. And then since we bypass all those layers in the media industry, is chaotic right now. You know, you can find someone share a screenshot on Snapchat, and then everybody believes that screenshot, but the screenshot is fake. But you don't have any traditional media that will definitely say what you're seeing on Instagram or what you're saying what you're seeing on WhatsApp is fake. And also, I think that give us what we had, for example, what we have in Haiti right now. You can see the president of the president can make a speech or make any statement, and you will find some other people saying that this is fake news, the president is not doing it, and no one has that control to give the truth anymore, and you don't know what to believe anymore. Like the other day, the son of the president, the news broke that some people shot his car, and everybody knew that. It was all over the news on WhatsApp. And 2 hours later, the president's office has to deny and say it's not true. But everybody believed that. And what's bad with the internet is just because in Haiti, especially, you have people who control how they use their data. Like to pay 9 goods for 1 gig, you have to really use it wisely. So if that person got the news on WhatsApp, they shut the president's son's car or something like that, and turn off the data, and go in the neighborhood, spread out the news. They will never know what the reality is. And for me, it's really chaotic, and I think that's the role of the traditional media, the professional in the media, to make that their duty to fight that and to give and to educate those people how to treat an information. When you see it, double check, fact check it before you share it.
Well,
For me, this is important.
So, sorry, I have a quick question, please. So, in a situation like that, you having a Haiti-based show, like, what do? Do you not report it and wait, or do you go like that? I would find that being a difficult situation. Even here, you know, we see things that go viral on social media pages, and it's like a rush, like we need to have this, but then you kind of have to sometimes step back. Like, how do you?
I always say, unless if I'm the one reporting, I will step back on any type of news that I see. Even if I heard that right now Haiti is the richest country because they just give us any type of money or anything like that, I will definitely step back and double check. And for me, it's maybe because I'm gonna talk about like a personal experience, for example. When January 12th, the earthquake happened, I was underground reporting, as you know. I had to double check, triple check some information because let me tell you what happened. You have a lot of people under the rubble trying to text the family. Phone services went down, so those messages never went out. So when they repair the service, they resume the service 2-3 days after. So the families start receiving messages saying that I'm still alive, I'm still alive, and this is where I am, this is where I am. And those people, since I was reporting on the ground, they would call me or come to the radio station, please broadcast that message for me. And I did it once, and it's only because I was like, let me do it. And then I went to that place, and I see there's no way that someone can survive 2 days after here. And then I was like, okay, let me double check. And then I talked to someone at DGCell, they said, this is what happened. Because when they sent the SMS, the service went down, and they resumed it, it took time for the message to went out from the sender to the person who will receive it. And then I had to double check that, because in that situation, you don't do good. It's really bad, because you will give the family hope. You will definitely find a way to get all those people involved to rescue that person. But it was like a false claim or false cry for help, I would say. So I think that that's still the situation in Haiti. And the fight between social media and traditional media is huge, especially in a country where people don't really have access to the same thing and have access to the same type of quality information. And when you have also, like what we described here, like we have a lot of people here in the States, people buy airtime, but in Haiti they don't buy airtime because some media owners, they don't have money to pay the journalists. So the journalists use the microphone as an opportunity. So you don't know what to trust and how to do it.
Well, I think, very good point. And by the way, Kyle did an outstanding job with earthquake coverage. It was really first rate. I really appreciate your work. I learned a lot. Thank you. But I think what we're discussing is that he is saying how we have to double check. You know, I teach my students, I said, you know what? If your mother tells you she loves you, double check it. And that's the credo of journalists. You have to be skeptical. You can't take everything as face value. And now, we are at an age of technology where fake can be real. And so how do you discern the truth from false, fake news? Well, there are certain things you can do. And if you understand journalism at its highest level, at its even basic level, frankly, you would not fall prey to this problem. What you describe in Haiti is very similar to what mainstream journalism is facing in this country. But we have, all kinds of tools and mechanisms to really ferret out the fake news from the truth. I mean, there are all kinds, as you know very well, all kinds of algorithm that's been developed as we speak to really deal with that problem. It's a major problem. But I think part of the problem in Haiti is cultural. We like the sordid. We like the zen. If the Haitian Times, they don't like that because it's too straight. Yo, but to what cost? It has a cost on society. And this is what we're discussing here. And we need to professionalize the media. And I'm going to shock you right now because I think in Haiti, you have a coterie of professional journalists, where here, you have very, very little. And it bothers me a lot. Because while we think of ourselves as professionals, we're educated, we know all this or that, but the media that we're consuming is bad for your health. It's like junk food on steroids. This is what we're dealing here. It's real, and you know it. I was really disheartened when I heard people down here were embracing Trump. I mean, that really drove me crazy. How can you, Haitians, tell me this is the man that you are gonna support because Hillary stole our money? Fucking money you got to be stolen, okay? Stop that nonsense, okay? And now, vote for Andrew Gillum. Okay, I'm telling you straight up. He went to FAMU, I went to FAMU, that's our boy, and you gotta support him. Point blank. Stop playing around in the media in South Florida, all over Florida. That's the message we need right now because we are at a critical stage in our existence in this country. Okay? So that's the message. Let's get professional. We're in America. We're gonna eat. This is not Haiti where we gotta struggle to eat. No, it's higher than that. We have a better goal. We should strive to reach it and not sell ourselves for plat Julia Griot. No. It's got to be higher than that.
Yeah.
Any questions? I can.
Areas. I did entertainment business. I do the immigration advocacy, and I'm an immigration attorney. I do the media, and the biggest problem that I see is that in no circumstance are we truly devoted to the mission. The idea of media, right, should not be that it's a business. That should not be the model when it comes to airtime. So what's happening is that we're going to start seeing a destruction in our societies because of the fact that we're doing this pay-for-play model, and we're not really putting out the messages that need to be put out. I'll give you an example. I asked somebody, hey, I want 5 minutes on the show for somebody to come in and talk about Andrew Gillum. There is no way that you could think anyone else who's good for our state but Andrew Gillum. You want to charge me $5,000 for 5 minutes. So me, I'm not going to sit here and negotiate that. What am I going to negotiate down to? The people who asked me to do the buy, they only had a $2,000 budget, and I was supposed to cover everyone. Weeks later, he's like, you never called me back and told me. And I'm like, they only had a budget of $2,000. He was like, well, we could have talked about it. It worked. Because you came at me with $5,000, and what's happening? Now these people are on the radio talking about the other, okay, who is not racist, but racist think he's racist, right? They're talking about that guy and why. It's for money. It's not because they genuinely believe that it's going to do good for us, but that's the person that pays them. And they say it with their own mouth, and they don't have any shame. So here comes the BSS hour over here. We'll take anybody who wants to come on the show. You ain't got to pay us. I don't have bills I really need to pay. The little money that I get pays the radio out, and we're done. And we do that with the intention of trying to bridge the gap and have new voices on these issues, be present, and talk about these things. Because what's happening is that we're losing, our elder people are being steered in the wrong direction, right? Because after you're 17, you have a half-hour show, 17 minutes is ads. The other 13 minutes is just bitching about whatever random things, no actual news is being given to you, right? And then you have the whole younger generation who's just like, I can't listen to this trash. And I gotta go, and then they end up leaving the entire culture with them. So when social issues are going on, like immigration and CPS, nobody's engaging because you have this side who doesn't understand the problem, and this side who's just like, I don't even want to be part of it.
Now, this kind of goes back to my earlier question on what is the duty of not only journalists, but I'll get to you, the duty of journalists, but then also we have to remember that this is not a hobby for a lot of people. This is a business. So when you get to a situation like that, like for some of you on the panel, where do you walk the fine line between like I need to be able to sustain and pay my bills and hire people, so I do have to do advertising, and then where is it that you start making decisions based on your own social and ethical beliefs?
I mean, so I would say, so I'm not in like this particular media space because I do community work, and so I work for a non-for-profit. I have my own side hustle because I got my student loans that I gotta pay. And so what I do is more of a conduit and a connector between the community and the media. And so what I do is that I actually use brokers, and I use people that I trust, people that I've cultivated relationships with. I will never go to individual people to do individual buys. If I need something, I'm gonna be like, Vanessa, you and I need to talk. This is the budget I have. Who can you spread this through? Dr. Floor, one of my mentors. You're a broker, and that's one of the things that we lack in this industry as well, is that we don't have these levels of like, why are you talking directly to that person unless you have an established relationship, unless you know that there's trust, unless you know that they have a certain value and ethics that they carry with them, and that you watch their radio, or you watch the TV, you listen to their radio shows, you see the type of DJs that they allow on their shows, and you identify that for yourself. And if you don't identify that for yourself, who are the people that you have built relationships with, that you trust, that can help you navigate through that? Because I can tell you right now, in this election time, when I'm getting phone calls from community organizations saying that I have X amount of $1,000 that I need to spend, do you know who I should talk to? I'll be like, yeah. And then if I go onto that radio show and that DJ says, just come to me, I'll be like, fuck no. Are you kidding me? I would never come to you directly, because we have a business model that, at least because I understand people need to get paid, but at the same time, I value my community. I value the information that they're getting. And if you don't honor yourself, if you don't have any type of value or ethics, where I'm seeing that you basically will push whatever out somebody's paying for, then we have a problem, because at the end of the day, it's about information that we're trying to get. I'm not trying to get biased information from you. I'm not trying to get your personal commentary about how you feel, because somebody probably slipped you a couple of coins under the table that I didn't know about, and now you're impacting how it's going to mess with my community. And so that's my biggest issue with all of this, is that, at least from how I've seen it, and I've been doing this now, this is my third election cycle. So this is basically 6 years that I've been doing it in this way, and I've seen how effective that it's been when I actually avoid individual radio hosts. I actually avoid individual TV stations unless I've established that trust with you, because it can get messy very quickly, and I have enough things on my plate that I don't have to manage 45 different people.
I'm hearing you.
Well,
I
wasn't trying to say that media as a business is wrong. It's professionalism.
But you mean so you're buying, I'm media, and you're buying, or you're buying. Okay, so as a media owner, here's what I get. I get an American advertising agency call me. They'll say, okay, we would like to place a buy. Here's your buy order. The budget is $8,000. I get sent the buy order, I sign it, and I know that I'm getting $8,000 minus 15%, because that's the way we're established, and it works that way. When I get a call from a person who has a campaign money, they don't say to me, I got $3,000 to spend, you know, in television or whatever. So, how many ads can you give me for that? Or I have $1,000 to spend. So I don't know if the person got $180,000 to spend and is keeping $100,000 for themselves, and they're putting out 80 because they know that I mean, the Haitian media are dying. So you call me right now and you offer me $300. Well, that's $300 that can help me pay the Comcast bill. Am I going to say no? Because whatever I don't sell today, it's not like a boutique. In a boutique, whatever you got there,
you won't get it back.
exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever I have in the boutique that I didn't sell today, I'm going to sell tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever ads I don't sell today, I'll never see that
Yeah.
money. So they know that we're in that position. So that's the problem. If there's a media buy that's done by an agency, we know what the person is really getting, and they know that they're getting 15, or if they want 20%, we want 25%, but at least give me the respect to know that the media is not going to get 10% of what you're really getting, but you at least, you want to keep 20, 25%, at least if I know that, that's respect to the media. But you want me to give you all these ads, all this? I'm telling you, I'm saying, as a media, this is what we are faced with. I don't know who makes the decision, who they're going to give money to. I think I'm going to become an agent and not a media, because the agents make a whole lot more money than the media. I can tell you.
Thank you. Sorry, please. The first young lady in the back.
You're younger than me.
In like 2 minutes, please.
Yes,
because, yeah.
Thank you guys for presenting. My name is Laura, and I am the public engagement director for World Vision. And my question is mostly addressed to Kage, because
You don't put a-
Kage,
Oh.
because he's involved in engaging and he's on the ground. And I think that whether or not you're part of the traditional media or the institute side, it does come with a certain amount of responsibility
True.
because of the amount of people that follow you and the influence that you have. So my question to you, and maybe for anyone else on the panel, would be how or what would the formula be, right, to raise the accountability of the media? We were talking about their duty, their responsibility, and not only leadership as for how many people are following you, but also what sort of responsibility you have in the change that you will need to make in the society.
Yeah.
So we're talking about all the problems that we have, but I guess I want to ask the direct question, like, what would be one cause that you feel very strongly about, and how are you supporting that? Beyond just sharing your platform or sharing your microphone, how are you supporting that cause to get results and to get impact? Because we're talking about disrupting the narrative. So what is your formula for one cause that you feel very strongly about and you're passionate about, and how are you solving that cause?
And answer in 1 minute,
That's a
please.
good question. It would be education. For a lot of reasons. First of all, personally, I'm a board member of CODEV. CODEV is an organization in Haiti working in the educational field. We have actually, before I came here, before I took the plane to come here, well, I was at CODEV because we were distributing like $10,000 check for scholarship for those kids, because CODEV has a school in Cité Soleil where we have from, I can say in Creole, de primaire à 9e année. The kids come for free, and they're in the area of Cité Soleil, and they have good quality educations, and I do believe that. And also, so in my platform, what I do is just sharing my microphone and sharing my platform with people that can definitely inspire others. I'm not into like that fast food type of content that Gary mentioned earlier. Because I do think, like, if I have someone on my microphone, if I do a great interview with that person, that will inspire others. That will definitely inspire my audience. And also, I do believe that there's so great things happening in Haiti, and the traditional media or other media don't give those people platforms. So that's why I'm everywhere. Like, for example, I created that concept called Shukaila Takeover, where I travel from Haiti to other cities and meet other like great people doing great things. So I did it in Miami twice. I went to New York the other day, and that's my way to share light on great things happening. And I pick carefully my guests, and I do think that everything's happening in my show. Like I produce, I'm not saying I'm produce. I have at least an average of 3 to 4 guests a day. So in those 4 guests, you will find 3 of them that inspiring people, or maybe Youngtown if you want to introduce, or maybe talk about what they're doing, things like that. You will definitely find some people doing great things in Haiti. And I got a lot of testimonies for that. Like the other day, one of the, I went to the airport, actually, I was on the line through immigration, and actually I said that to my daughter because I traveled with her, and she came to us like, congratulations, and you're doing a great job. And what I usually do when someone says, I'm doing a good job, like, what do you like about what I'm doing? So why I'm doing a good job? And then she was saying that every night from work, she's at home, open her TV, and play all the videos that I'm doing. And then for her, it's a way to say, oh, I see that thing, and for me, this is really give me like the booster that I need to continue. Because I do think, even if it's one person watching me live on Facebook or listening to me on the radio, if I have a good guest that can inspire them, I'm doing my job. Because my job is to inspire and educate. Because sometimes some people don't really know what's happening in Haiti. Like the other day, I have a woman, she's from our board, Haitian born, went to Haiti, opened a company, they're doing conflicts. They're one of the 2 companies doing local conflicts in Haiti. And then she was explaining her story. And I got a lot of feedbacks from people in the Haitian diaspora saying, I need to get in contact with that girl because I want to do business in Haiti as well. So that's why I think. And also, talking about business and responsibility, I think you can do both. I think if you have a platform that can inspire people, you will definitely build an audience. And of course, if you have the audience, you will definitely get the advertisers.
Gary?
Quickly, I think, very good question by the way, but I think where you're heading at is the ethic of a journalist.
Yes.
What is the role of a journalist?
Not only the ethics part, but also the responsibility. And I know that sharing the platform is essential because I work in public relations and I know it's important, but sharing the platform to get results. So it's literally advocacy for getting the results.
But that advocacy is unto you and her, not us. Once we start wearing the advocacy hat, that's when we go now outside of our zone. That's when we become vulnerable to all kinds of, taking money on the side, all of that, because you're not a journalist anymore. At that time, you're just a hustler.
So what I would add to that, because what I'm getting from Kyle is basically your social responsibility. How do you have your platform and your established platform? How do you make sure that you share that platform with other people, with other stakeholders, with other surrogates that can also inform the community, so that it's not just you hogging the mic?
But that's the definition of a journalist. That's what you're supposed to do. If you do that, and that's your job, exactly that. Anything else is extra. And it really doesn't, it goes outside of it. We do not adhere to these rules of journalism.
So can I finish?
Well, but I just want to make sure that point gets across, because we're not there to be an advocate. We're there to provide people a platform and have them moderate the discussion, not be part of it. Once you become part of it, then you're in really dangerous territory.
Okay, so that's basically what I was saying, is that you're sharing your platform and you're inviting advocates. I've been on many TV shows, I've been on many radio shows, because I am the advocate. But are you allowing those spaces to happen is the conversation that we're having right now. People are not allowing for that because they're being paid by people to push out a particular message. So what I'm saying is that he has a platform. I watch his platform. The fact that he can come to Miami and talk to Nancy, who's a climate organizer, to talk about climate and the issues that we're having, he's allowing his platform to expand beyond himself, to bring in other people who have that base knowledge, because the problem that we're having in this community right now is that everybody thinks that they know everything. And so what we're trying to say is that you don't know everything, and are you reaching out to the people that do? And one of the other things, and I'll say that this doesn't necessarily happen in the Haitian community, but it happens in the African American community here in Miami-Dade, because they're having an event actually right now. Papa Keith, on Hot 103.5. That man is in the community. He works with Jean Monestein. He has festivals where there's voter registration. So the community brings out the people who are doing voter registration. They bring out the cannon, and he's like, I'm going to expand my platform beyond the mic. I'm going to vote, and are you afraid to step into the community where you're pushing out this message, but I actually want to stand with you face to face so you can see me beyond the mic? So those are the things that you do when you have that platform. It's not just staying in the radio station. It's not just staying behind your desk, but are you going into the community? Are you interfacing with people that you're giving this information to, so that they can build a rapport and a relationship with you? And you don't see that as much in the Haitian community. You see that in the African American community here, but that's one of the things I would love to see in the Haitian community here. Vanessa does it, Shirley does it, Sandra does it, but not everybody.
Sorry, can we just one question, and then if we have time, you can go back to that.
In general for entertainment, so kind of like watch your show, my mom and I probably the only program we can watch together. She's more on the other side, I'm more on the sports, so it's something, and even movies. My family in general, we love on TV and put it on the TV. Yeah, sorry. I just want to give a little background. But in general, entertainment outlets in Haiti are really influential to someone like me who grew up in the States, to not only influence me culture, but kind of stuff what's going on. So something I found is being part of throughout my alma mater is that Americans, I want to say, in particular Haitians here, we kind of look for more positive things. So we look for entertainment, we look for
tourism,
things that are just like more positive, because we kind of grew up.
Sorry, the question,
right.
Please.
I'm trying to say, how do you balance that for us to have a good understanding of what's going on in Haiti? Because sometimes with my friends we went. And we're just thinking, so how do you balance that as someone who can give us like media or our source media, so that Haitians kind of know the.
Yeah, it's not easy to balance. I can say, because for me it's like I'm all about the positivity. I'm all about like voyage, but at the same time there's so much issue that we need to address and resolve. I think my take on it is just how I like working on the platform to give a little like support for those kind of issues. Like, for example, like right now, I have a schedule for my show from the week of September 5th. We're gonna talk about Kirk Creek. We're gonna talk about like other like great issues that people don't really listen to on the radio, because right now it's all about like corruption, politics, pedophilia, and things like that. So I really need to. I'm trying to change a bit, like the narrative and that type of things. But to really answer your questions, the balance is not easy. But I do think like if your mother and yourself can watch my show through my guests, I can definitely talk about the problem. Like the other day, you might know like we had a scandal with the mayor of Sabah. You know the deal. So in that day, I have 4 guests, and I had the same question for all 4. Like, what's your take on violence against women? You know, and then through that, even we're talking about like a ball or a concert and things like that, I ask the questions and get the answers. And these different answers, different perspectives, for the listeners to know, because I stay in the news while I'm giving them other information. So I can tackle like other issues while I'm doing it.
Thank you.
Let me just add quickly. As soon as that story came out with that woman that got choked or beat up by her husband, I guess it was WhatsApp, and I put right away, tout garçon qui bat fille, c'est ma sissi. Okay? And it was amazing to see the reaction of the men saying, oh, get a fille qui mérite. So in other words, the whole idea of beating women is justified if the woman did something to, no, listen, you got a problem with your wife? Leave, get divorced. When you beat your wife, now you're the problem. So men were upset, because I knew the macho men are being called masisi because they beat their women,
Yeah, but
they feel macho because they're beating the women.
But you mentioned the cultural aspect of everything we do in media that happened as well. Like, I had a young artist come to my show to launch his single. And the music, la parlé de si fille a pas contre faire manger, si pas contre passer, si pas contre faire, etc. Il pas normal. Yeah, so what I did, I was like, keep them confronted with it, because I don't think this is the right thing that my listeners should listen to. Even if it's a fun song, it's a nice song, you can dance to it. But at least we address the issue and the song and change the mentality. And that's how you balance. Because I'm not just a DJ playing a song just to please the audience. If there's something wrong in the song and it's happening on my microphone, on my platform in front of me, I need to address that. And we had like a long discussion. Like, people were reacting on live on Facebook and things like that. But at the end of the day, they are affected. And for me, that's, if you can start a conversation about any like special issues in maybe open one by black, it's a good thing.
Thank you. And then closing remarks for the panel, and anyone else who has questions, feel free to come and harass them after. So, Francesca, Gary, I'll give you 2 the last word. Anything you want to add?
By my sissy, no? The only thing I want to add, I think this conversation has been really good, a lot of passion, a lot of things, but we have to understand the role of the media and the difference between a journalist and a media personality. And I think we're confounding the two. It's not the same thing. And you all live in America, most of you, and when you watch, right now, the mainstream media is being dragged into that same conversation, and they're resisting as they should. And I'm telling you, this is what this orange man in Washington wants to do to us, make us part of it. And we are resisting it that way, because once you start getting into the muck, then you get dirty. What our role is to do what Kyle is described. That's it. Okay, it's not our job to really start getting involved. I can say what I say because I'm not a reporter anymore. Okay, I'm wearing a different hat. And I guarantee you, if I was at the New York Times or anything, when I was running the Haitian Times, the editor, I wouldn't speak that way. Okay, because you have a responsibility, it's very powerful, and you have to use it, not abuse it. Unfortunately, we abuse it too many times, too often.
I mean, so the only thing I'll just end with is, like, again, I come from the community angle, so it's more of like the for the gentlemen who are on the panel is like, how is it that you're using your platform to expand the narrative, to have the difficult conversations? Are you inviting other people with different opinions to be able to have the debate, to have the conversations that need to happen so that we can properly inform our communities? Because unfortunately, our communities are not being properly informed. And so what is the dialogues that we're allowing to happen in the spaces that we create to be able to properly inform our communities?
Thank you so much. I know many of you have a lot more comments, questions. If you want to attack Gary personally, he will be in the lobby, table 2. You can find us there. And any other questions, please feel free to come up. Thank you.
Last night.
Okay.
No, man,
I work for that is going to be on the other side. And see, that's what's happening now. Because everyone wants to, with the immigrant parents. Oh, well, you know, we give them in we got to how far is the caravan? They're not going to get to America till 30 days. And that's if they make it.